Hello everyone. In this video, we will understand how to draw a bubble chart in MINITAB. Many of us have used MINITAB generally to draw a Pareto chart or a control chart or to perform certain analysis like MSA, regression, hypothesis testing. But there are other very simple but interesting charts, informative charts that we can draw out of MINITAB. So in this video, we will understand how to draw bubble chart. And I'll also explain the purpose of bubble chart and how to interpret the results from the bubble chart. So to draw this bubble chart, the data that I have taken is from last year's IPL statistics. Many times, friends, for us to do some very good analysis, to practice some analysis, if we take data from sports, especially cricket, we can have very good data because there is every ball that is being bowled, there is a lot of information get recorded. So from that perspective, for this bubble chart, I have taken last year's IPL batsmen's batting average, strike rate, and number of runs scored. So here, if you see, I have given the name of the player. I have also given their role. Some of them are pure play batsmen, some of them are wicketkeeper batsmen, and some of them are all-rounder batsmen. So what are the characteristics of a good batsman? So people who follow cricket will understand, especially in T20 matches, batting average, strike rate, two important factors. You need to have higher batting average and you need to have a higher strike rate. Along with that, number of runs scored. So the number of runs scored will be a metric that will reflect whether he was able to achieve this high batting rate and high strike rate for a longer period of time, right? So if you score more runs with the same batting average and strike rate, then you are considered as a much better player. So let's say in 2023, when the IPL auctions are going to happen, and if I'm one of the data analysts for one of the teams, and the request the team has made to their data analyst is to find out if I have to invest on two players, who could be the two players whom I can invest, or who could be the top three players, even if there is high auction price, let's go ahead and auction them and take them in our team so that we can strengthen our batting lineup. If this is the request given to the data analyst, then one very simple chart that we can use to showcase graphically, because these are randomly people taken from the top 10, 15 in the last year IPL. So people from different franchises, top uh, 10, top 15. In that, I have randomly picked up some seven players and their batting average, strike rate, and number of runs scored. So let me click on graph. Let me click on bubble plot. So what is bubble plot? Bubble plot is a graphical representation that helps us to give us a perspective of a data from two different axes, the x-axis and y-axis. So let me explain how it works. So for example, in this case, batting average is going to be my y-axis, strike rate is going to be my x-axis, and size of bubble is going to be number of runs scored. And I can go to labels and I can say, I want to know the name of the player. So I'm going to add name of the player as my labeling option. And then I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to click on OK. So when I do this, what I get the bubble chart for these players. And what is this bubble chart telling me? So in this bubble chart, if you see, there are two batsmen literally overlapping. So Shikhar Dhawan and Sanju Samson, their bubbles are almost overlapping. And if you see the other players, the size of the bubble differs. So size of the bubble represents the number of runs they have scored. And as you see the bubble on the x-axis, as it get closer and closer to the far right, his strike rate is high. And as the bubble get higher and higher in the y-axis, the batting average is high. So it's very, very evident that David Miller seems to be the best among these seven players, both in terms of strike rate as well as batting average. So in this chart, I'm able to compare players' performance in terms of batting average as well as strike rate. Now, let us say the team management says, Vinod, I would like to take people who are having a batting average of about 40 and strike rate crossing about 130. So then what I can do is in the same graph, in MINITAB, whenever you press Control E, it takes you to the previous screen. So in this, what I can do is I can go to scale, I can click on reference line. And in reference line, I can say in my y-axis, a batting average of 40. So I can put 40. And in my x-axis, a strike rate of 130. So I'm ready to consider people who have batting average of 40 and strike rate of 130. If I say okay and okay, now I'll get a same graph with the reference lines drawn. So people in this quadrant are people whom I can think about, spending money still auction in my team so that I can strengthen my batting lineup. I will go ahead and aggressively bid for David Miller, KL Rahul, and Hardik Pandya. Why? Because they are crossing the threshold of 130 in strike rate and 40 in batting average. Okay. Can I see all these people as, with the same potential? Because if you see Moin Ali here, his batting average is not 40. His batting average is less, but his strike rate is good. But is he a one-dimensional player? No. So in this group of 7 people, there are people with uh, different kinds of role that they do in the team. So some of them are pure play batsmen, some of them are all-rounders, some of them are wicket-keeper batsmen. So if I want to understand about their role they play, I can go for the next type of bubble plot. And that one is, so graph, bubble plot. And here I'm going to do bubble plot with subgroups. So what is bubble plot with subgroups? Again, in my y-axis, I'm going to take my batting average. In my x-axis, I'm going to take my strike rate. Size of the bubble, I'm going to take number of runs scored. And the subgroup. So here I'm going to take a role. So batsman, all-rounder batsman, and wicket-keeper batsman. And now I'm going to get into scale and add reference line. So people with a batting average of 130 and people with batting average of 40 and strike rate of 130. Now I say okay, and then I say okay. So now what happens? I get the bubble chart, but this time the bubble chart again, maybe if the names are required, I can say data labels used from player name. So again, if you see the performance of Sanju Samson and Shikhar Dhawan are almost the same in terms of batting average and strike rate. So that's the reason you see a overlap. But if you see here, the pink color indicates pure play batsman, and the blue color indicates all-rounder batsman, and green color indicates wicket-keeper batsman. Let's say KL Rahul in that season played as a wicket-keeper as well as opening batsman. So there is more weightage in me investing on KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya compared to David Miller. Why? Even though all three of them fall in the top quadrant, David Miller is a pure play batsman. He has performed well. But if I invest on KL Rahul or Hardik Pandya as a utility players, they give good results in terms of their batting, but they can also be utilized in the other dimensions of cricket like bowling or wicket keeping. So from that perspective, I have analyzed the performance of players in terms of their batting average, in terms of their strike rate, in terms of number of runs scored, and also if they are multi-dimensional players based on the role that they play in the team. So friends, this bubble chart, I have taken cricket as an example, but you can take this as a plot or as a graph to evaluate uh, items which can be evaluated from multi dimensions. So here, if you see, as of now, I have considered 4 dimensions: batting average, strike rate, number of runs scored, and the role in the team. So the role in the team is a categorical nominal data, and other data, that is batting average, strike rate, and number of runs, can be continuous data or can also be discrete count data. So if you still have any doubts on the types of data, we have already posted a video on types of data. You can have a look at that video. Hope this video will be helpful for you. So looking forward to have you on more sessions, more videos on how to make use of Minitab for our day-to-day analysis and get more out of your MINITAB statistical software. Thank you, friends.